You know, the ultimate hiding place for mind-bending paranormal horror it's not a creepy basement or some isolated cabin in the woods.
Right.
It's actually a pristine, magazine-ready living room.
Right.
And, well, a fat, sleeping gray tabby cat named Clarence.
Good old Clarence.
Right. So, welcome to today's deep dive. Our mission today is to break down how this story uses the absolute most mundane, boring domestic details to camouflage a plot twist that, frankly, shatters reality.
Yeah, we are looking at a literal masterclass in narrative deception here. I mean, the author completely weaponizes your assumptions about normal, everyday life to set a trap.
A huge trap.
Exactly. The signs of this massive, reality-altering reveal are actually hidden right out in the open, just waiting for the characters, and obviously you, the reader, to stumble right into them.
So let's look at the baseline reality here, because, well, the contrast is what makes the later horror actually work.
Right, you have to establish the normal first.
Exactly. So we're introduced to Greg and Lenore Haddle. And the source notes that they are completely atypical for their generation.
Oh, yeah. They act like conservative grandparents, but decades before their time.
Right. They are super clean-cut, heavily invested in home decor, and their entire existence revolves around like making memories, photographing highlights, and maintaining this environment that is quote-unquote warm and welcoming.
And it is a highly intentional, manicured existence.
Very manicured.
Like, there's absolutely no organic mess anywhere. It's almost a defensive posture that they've disguised as domestic bliss.
It really is. I mean, it reads like they are living inside an IKEA catalog.
Oh, that's a perfect way to describe it.
You know that feeling when you walk through the showroom? Everything is perfectly color coordinated, the lighting is soft, but it just completely lacks any real edge or personalized chaos.
Right, it's completely sterile.
Exactly, it's sterile. And their only vice, if you can even call it that, is their fat gray tabby cat, Clarence, who literally just sleeps all day and meows for food.
What a wild life.
I know, right? They spend their evenings eating home-cooked meals and watching sitcom reruns. But that sterile bubble totally burst the second Elaine Nealer knocks on their perfectly painted front door.
Oh, yeah. The disruptor arrives. The contrast couldn't be sharper.
No, it really couldn't.
I mean, Greg opens the door to find this small, attractive woman. Her hair is pulled up in a bun, but she is just covered in tattoos up and down her arms.
And this is Lenore's old high school best friend.
Well, former best friend.
Right, former. Because they were inseparable until senior year when Elaine spiraled into this massive, crazy rebellion.
And Lenore, wanting to protect her perfect little bubble, completely cut her off.
Just totally amputated her from her life. And now, decades later, Elaine is physically invading their space.
Yes, she's crossing all the boundaries.
She keeps reaching over, grabbing Greg's arm, telling these wild stories about their old high school shenanigans.
She is just physically and verbally dragging all that chaos Lenore tried to escape right into the middle of their pristine living room.
And it's so interesting looking at Greg's reaction in the text here, because I was honestly interpreting it as disgust at first.
Really?
Disgust.
Yeah, I mean, the text says his eyes are glued to her tattoos. He's a guy who loves his IKEA catalog life, right? So I thought he was staring at her like she's some predator that just tracked mud onto his white carpet.
See, I would actually push back on reading it purely as disgust.
Oh, really? Why?
Well, the text says it stirred his insides up.
Okay, true.
Which implies a visceral activation, you know, not just repulsion. He is mesmerized by her.
Oh, that makes sense. So he's not just grossed out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, Greg and Lenore are on completely different wavelengths after Elaine leaves.
Right. Lenore's super flustered and threatened by the ghost of her past.
But Greg, on the other hand, is disturbed, sure, but he's undeniably activated by this sudden injection of unpredictability. So he's staring at the physical manifestation of the chaos he's been denied in his synchronized grandparent-like routine.
Exactly. And that friction Elaine introduces, it doesn't just stay at the front door.
No, it really doesn't. It immediately starts mutating Lenore's behavior.
It's a total paradox. Elaine's intrusion actually creates a romantic spark between Greg and Lenore that they haven't felt in a while.
Yeah. Lenore gets this sudden obsessive urge to research tattoos on her phone.
Right, which is so out of character.
Completely. She wants to plan out how she might spice up their vanilla life and, like, genuinely shock Greg.
And Greg, playing his role as the guardian of their pristine life, pushes back hard against it.
He hates the idea.
Yeah.
Which culminates in this very specific, incredibly morbid exchange.
Oh, the morbid joke.
Yeah. Lenore tests him with a hypothetical. She teases that if anything ever happens to him, she is going to get a tattoo in his honor.
And Greg promises that if she does, he will haunt her with regularity.
Haunt her with regularity. Which is wild because tragedy strikes almost immediately.
We are talking literally weeks later.
Weeks. Greg is at his office break room, attending a birthday party for a secretary, and he just collapses.
Undetected heart murmur, some blood sugar issues, and boom, he is dead at 44.
Dead at 44. And I have to read the specific phrasing from the source text because it completely gave me whiplash when I read it.
Oh, please do. It's jarring.
The text says, quote, "Bada bing, bada boom. He was dead unexpectedly at 44.
Oh, bada bing, bada boom. It's just so absurd.
It's almost comedic. You expect to hear that in a mob movie, right? Not a medical tragedy.
Exactly. The casualness of that language really mimics the sudden, absurd randomness of death.
It does. You're reading this slow burn domestic shift, and then he's just wiped off the board with zero fanfare.
The author is aggressively pulling the rug out from under the reader just as it's pulled out from under Lenore.
Yeah.
But notice the structural purpose of that rapid death.
Okay, what do you mean?
It immediately transforms that morbid joke about the tattoo and the haunting into a binding contract.
Oh, wow.
The psychological trap is set, and the self-fulfilling prophecy is completely activated.
So devastated and all alone, Lenore actually takes the plunge. She makes good on the promise and gets an inconspicuous tattoo in Greg's honor.
Right, it becomes her little secret.
But it's a secret she shares with Elaine. And as Elaine draws closer to comfort her, Lenore's appetite for an edgier, less quote-unquote Greg-approved look grows.
She gets more piercings, starts wearing tighter clothing.
Exactly. She is literally stepping into the void Elaine left behind in high school.
But the moment she alters her body, the house just goes completely haywire.
It really does.
Yeah.
We shift from this psychological drama to highly specific poltergeist activity.
Drawers are left open.
Laundry is violently disheveled.
Dishes are smashed, lights come on without warning.
And the detail that really grounds the terror for me, honestly, is the hairbrushes.
Oh, the melted hairbrushes.
Finding hairbrushes melted underneath hair straighteners. I mean, it attacks the routine of grooming, the exact tools Lenore used to maintain her perfect, magazine-ready presentation.
It's very targeted.
But let me challenge the narrative here for a second. Is this actually a paranormal event?
You're thinking it's psychological.
Right. If we look at human psychology, couldn't this just be Lenore's overwhelming guilt manifesting? I mean, she skipped her teenage rebellion, she's acting out now, and maybe she's subconsciously destroying her own house in, like, a fugue state because she feels bad about disobeying Greg's memory.
That psychological explanation is definitely tempting, and the author knows that.
Right.
But the text specifically eliminates it by escalating the physical evidence way beyond what one person could subconsciously fake.
So the scale is just too big.
Exactly. The sheer scale and thermal reality of melting objects while she is demonstrably in other parts of the house, it points to an external force.
Okay, so it is a ghost.
Well, the narrative intentionally feeds you a cliche framework to make you think that. The disapproving dead husband haunting the rebellious widow. It's there to hide the real mechanism.
Oh, the smokescreen.
Yes, it even has Lenore seek out a medium to reinforce this.
And the medium plays right into that trope. She tells Lenore exactly what a guilty subconscious would expect to hear.
Which is that Greg is angry.
Yeah, he disapproves of her new tattoos and piercings. He can't sleep beyond the grave until she returns to their conservative lifestyle.
Right.
It feels exactly like a strict parent trying to ground a teenager from beyond the grave. Like, clean up your room, Lenore, and take out that nose ring.
Exactly, but as we know, that is all a smokescreen.
A total misdirection.
The disapproving ghost husband is just an easily digestible horror trope. It's designed to distract us from the true, much darker supernatural element at play.
Because if this were a standard ghost story, it would resolve with Lenore either appeasing the ghost or banishing it.
Right. But instead, it escalates into a complete psychological meltdown.
Lenore just loses her grip. She starts having these massive erratic outbursts, hurling coffee mugs, screaming.
The domestic friction reaches its absolute boiling point.
And it culminates in this brutal confrontation where she accuses Elaine, her edgy, tattooed new best friend, of sleeping with Greg right before he died.
And Elaine admits it.
She admits it. She looks Lenore in the eye and says, yes, they had an affair.
But this is the moment the floor completely falls out from under the story.
Oh, this is the twist. The huge twist.
Yes, it is not just a secret affair. Elaine reveals that she has been haunted by an entity for decades.
An entity that has been coaxing her into her rebellious destructive behavior.
And it traces all the way back to their senior year of high school, specifically to a night they spent messing around with summoning and conjuring activities in a theater room.
The very night that broke their friendship apart.
Exactly. The text reveals that during that session in the theater room, there's a profound spiritual disconnect. They didn't just drift apart as friends.
They swapped bodies.
They swapped bodies.
Okay, if you're listening and trying to do the math on this right now, let's map it out together, because when I first read this, I had to stop and reread the paragraph like 3 times.
It's a lot to process.
It changes the entire reality of the document. Let's break down exactly how this happened and what it really means.
Okay, so consider the metaphysical implications. The souls were violently displaced from their physical vessels.
Right, so this means the Lenore we met at the very beginning, the one living the perfect IKEA catalog life, married to Greg, styling the throw pillows.
Yes.
That body actually housed Elaine's original soul, the soul of a wild rebel.
Exactly.
And the tattooed edgy Elaine who showed up at the front door. That body was actually housing Lenore's original, deeply conservative soul.
The physical aesthetics of their adult lives were in direct opposition to their true spiritual essence.
But wait, help me understand the actual mechanism here. How do 2 people swap bodies in high school and just not know or not try to fix it?
It seems impossible, right?
Yeah, do they just wake up, look in the mirror, decide to go along with it for 20 years?
Well, the text points to the sheer incomprehensible trauma of the event. The entity forced a dislocation so traumatic that their minds literally buried the truth to survive.
Oh, wow.
It's a metaphysical form of repression. They didn't consciously know they were in the wrong bodies. They just experienced a sudden radical shift in their desires and fears.
Okay, that makes the psychology of the first half of the story incredibly tragic.
Deeply tragic.
The pristine living room, the sitcom reruns, the quiet nights. It wasn't just a boring life.
No, not at all.
It was a desperate subconscious attempt by Elaine's displaced soul to build a safe, rigid cage.
Yes. She was terrified of the dark, terrible things she had experienced during that summoning in high school. So she overcompensated with utter domestic sterility.
Every perfectly placed piece of furniture was an act of denial.
Beautifully said.
Yeah.
And conversely, the tattoos, the rebellion, the chaotic energy of Elaine, that was Lenore's conservative soul screaming out in distress.
Trying to shatter a physical body that felt fundamentally wrong to her.
Exactly. The physical alterations were a manifestation of spiritual claustrophobia.
That realization completely recontextualizes Greg's sudden death.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, we were told it was just a heart murmur and blood sugar. Pada-bing, pada-boom.
But it wasn't a random medical event at all. Look at the timeline and the spiritual math you just laid out.
Right.
When Greg gave in to the friction and slept with the tattooed Elaine in those final weeks, what was actually happening?
Oh my God. He was technically sleeping with his wife's actual soul, trapped inside her former best friend's body.
Yes, a profound paradox. The deeper truth is laid bare here. The narrative suggests Greg intuitively, on some deep subconscious level, sensed the immense wrongness of that encounter.
He knew something was fundamentally broken.
Exactly. He was intimately entangled in a web of fractured identities. The sheer stress of this spiritual and physical betrayal on his heart is what literally killed him.
The metaphysical weight of it literally broke his heart.
Yes.
It was the lethal consequence of a buried cosmic mistake coming full circle. So the ghost haunting the house, the melted hairbrushes, the smashed plates.
It wasn't just Greg being a strict, disapproving husband.
Right. The haunting was the violent friction of these displaced souls finally colliding with the truth.
The entity, the trauma, the repressed identities, all of it breaking through the domestic camouflage.
So what happens when the dark veil of the past is finally lifted, the truth is out, the bodies and the souls realize what happened? Do they find a way to fix it?
They attempt to, yes. The source material outlines a very grim resolution, though.
Really grim.
Elaine and Lenore seek professional esoteric help. The veil opens back into the past, and the spiritual mechanism reverses.
Okay, so their souls are returned to their rightful physical bodies.
They are.
You'd expect that to be the moment of relief, right? The horror is over, they get their lives back.
But the text aggressively denies us a happy ending.
It really does. It concludes by stating they both carried on in misery until their day of reckoning.
And you have to think about why. Because the damage is irreversible. Think about the architecture of their lives.
Right.
They get their rightful bodies back. But those bodies have aged decades, bearing the scars, tattoos, and the entire physical toll of someone else's choices.
Lenore gets her conservative soul back into her original body, But that body is now covered in tattoos and totally alienated from her community.
Yeah, and Elaine. She gets her rebellious soul back into her original body, but she's now sitting in a sterile IKEA catalog house.
Mourning a husband who died from the stress of a metaphysical affair.
Exactly. They have lived decades experiencing the consequences of actions taken by the other. Their entire adult identities were built on a foundation of total spiritual displacement.
And returning to the quote-unquote truth doesn't just erase the lived reality of those decades.
No, the mundane elements, the house, the cat, the routines, they now serve as a prison built by strangers.
Which leaves us with a truly provocative philosophical puzzle. Something you can turn over in your mind long after this discussion.
It really sticks with you.
It does. If you were forced into a body swap with someone years ago, and they lived a perfectly pristine, magazine-ready life in your physical body, while your soul was trapped in their body, committing terrible destructive acts.
Whose soul is actually stained by those choices.
Exactly. It forces a confrontation with the very nature of identity.
Are we ultimately defined by the physical actions our bodies take in the material world? Or by the spiritual intent and the essence hidden behind our eyes?
Right. When the body acts without the soul's consent, where does accountability even lie?
It's a terrifying thought.
It really is. So next time you look around your perfectly curated living room, maybe you paid a little closer attention to the shadows in the corners.
Good advice.
And if you have a fat gray tabby cat sleeping peacefully on the rug, well, just remember that sometimes the absolute quietest, most boring scenes are hiding the loudest, most terrifying secrets. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.